Here we have a scapular and thoracic spine mobility training routine. First exercise, scapular controlled articular rotations. Perform 3 to 4 rotations in each direction. Hold your body perfectly still all the way up through your neck, your elbows locked straight, palms flat on the outsides of your thighs, as you move your shoulder blades in the shape of a square in both directions. Next, we'll move on to thoracic spine extensions. We squat down just a little bit with a slight bend in the knees and create a posterior tilt at the pelvis. Keep drawing in through your abdominal wall, keep tension through your glutes, and bend back at the point between your shoulder blades. Hold your pelvis fixed. Hold tension through your abdominals to pull your rib cage down at the base, but still lift your breastbone towards the sky. Keep your elbows resting against your torso, your arms relaxed into your body. Perform 20 to 30 reps. Third exercise is thoracic spine controlled articular rotations. Keep the pelvis fixed, a posterior tilt with tension in your glutes and abs as you circle through the upper back. At the point between your shoulder blades again. Try to create a rotation in the shoulder girdle while holding the pelvis still for 5 to 10 reps in one direction and then change the direction. Hold tension through the abdominals and the glutes as you rotate as much as possible, pain-free range of motion through that upper back. You can also practice the drill with a little bit more looseness through the pelvis and through the neck. Explore your space and explore what feels great in your spine. Bouncing is a great drill to release tension throughout your connective tissue. Let's do it for about 30 seconds. Let your shoulder blades bounce up and down on your back. Keep your arms loose and heavy. And bounce at your knees, keeping your feet flat to the ground. And you can fade out of that in your own time. Next, we'll be moving into a downward dog position, or the hands can be closer to your feet, but we're simply going to be shrugging the shoulders up to the ears and then lengthening the neck and drawing the shoulder blades down away from the ears. As you push into your straight arms, push into the hands with fingers spread and get your shoulder blades moving up and down while bearing some weight in your hands. Knees can be bent as much as needed. 10 reps. Our sixth spinal mobility drill has us on hands and knees in the quadruped position with the hands under shoulders, knees under the hips. From there we will circle through the pelvis, creating rotation in the lumbar spine. Attempt to hold your shoulder girdle, your thoracic spine, and your neck as still as possible. And move that lower back a few times in one direction and then a few in the opposite direction. You can also make this a full spinal rotation, moving from the crown of the head all the way to the tailbone, and a few in each direction. And now for our seventh exercise, we have dive bomber push-ups. And this is the harder of the two variations that I will show. For this one, we begin in a downward dog position. Then we dive down through the crown of the head and end up in an upward dog position. With the elbows straight, extension of the spine, the thighs 1 inch off the ground, the knees are straight. The elbows are hugging in tight to the body. We're in extension throughout the move, through the spine as you lift the tailbone high towards the ceiling to return to the downward dog. And you can perform 5 to 8 repetitions of these. Here we have the slightly easier variation where we start off in a child's pose with the hips to the heels. And then we dive down through the crown of the head up into a cobra and return in the reverse pattern. The elbows touch down for a moment as you drive forward. The elbows touch down for a moment as you drive the hips back into the child's pose. Think of diving forward, lying on your belly for a moment, and then extending fully through your elbows to come into the cobra. And reverse the move by driving back and up through your tailbone, keeping extension through your spine, and holding your elbows in tight to your body. 5 to 8 repetitions. Here we sit as tall as we can through the spine, sitting up tall on your sit bones, and with straight locked elbows, squeezing the arms in as tight to your ears as possible. Reach your fingertips as high to the sky as possible while drawing in through your abdominals, and reach for 10 repetitions, hugging your arms in tight to your ears each time you reach your shoulders up to your ears, and then aggressively press your shoulder blades down away from your ears. Reach as high as you can, and then lengthen your neck to make it as long of a neck as possible without bending your elbows. Very difficult to do. Keep those elbows locked even as you depress your shoulder blades. At the same time, keep your legs straight and locked and tension through your legs and abdominals. Our 9th exercise is scapular push-ups. This is the harder variation of the two. From the toes in a full plank position. Abdominals firmly engaged, gluteal muscles firmly engaged to maintain a posterior tilt at your pelvis. And while holding the head and neck still, attempt to squeeze your shoulder blades all the way together, keeping the neck long, and then pull your shoulder blades all the way apart while keeping the neck long. Elbows straight and externally rotated from your shoulders all the way down to your wrists. This is the easier variation from the knees, but still in a firm posterior tilt, tension through the abdominal wall and glutes, keeping the neck long and neutral. Retracting the shoulder blades, squeezing them together, and protracting the shoulder blades, pulling them apart, while keeping the elbows locked straight as can be. Hands directly underneath the shoulders. And here we have a nice shoulder and wrist mobility drill. We will imagine that the wrists are magnetically drawn to the ground. And you're on your knees, sitting the hips back towards the heels, stretching the arms out, and just rolling around on your wrists, front, back, sides of the wrists. And then we're drawing big circles around the body with both arms, and in both directions, as you sit the hips to the heels and look towards your navel. And for improved neck and shoulder girdle mobility, these are the Egyptian arms. Imagine that you're always throwing something behind your back. Palms face your back as you keep your elbows and upper arms pretty much fixed. And try turning the head in both directions, either looking towards the hand that reaches to the floor or looking to the hand that reaches to the ceiling. Here we move on to elbow rotations. Hold the upper arms fixed, the knees slightly bent, abdominals and gluteal muscles engaged while you hold a posterior tilt, and generate momentum through the corset, through the abdominals, through the core in order to rotate at your elbows with speed. And for our final drill, this is the teacup exercise, starting with single arms. You can perform 5 to 8 repetitions with each arm in each direction, both into the waist and over the head, so that you're stretching the arm all the way out to your side at shoulder height, and then circling the fingertips into your waist. Also learning how to circle the fingers over top of your head, imagining you're holding a hot cup of tea and you do not want it to spill. A great drill to loosen the shoulder girdle, to create mobility through your shoulder girdle, through your shoulder blade, rotator cuff muscles. Transferring over to the second arm, practice just pointing fingers into the waist and then extending the arm wide to the side. Feel that rotation through the shoulder and the shoulder blade, and then practice over the head, keeping the palm level to the ground as if holding a hot cup of tea, circling over the head and then stretching the hand out wide to the side. Then combine the two moves, circle over the head and then into the waist, and also in the reverse. And we can perform this exercise with 2 arms moving at the same time, either moving in the same pattern at once or in different patterns. Explore all your options. And let your spine move with the teacups, with the arms. I hope you enjoyed this routine on scapular and thoracic spine mobility training. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with some friends, and I hope you enjoyed the view, and I hope you will continue to move naturally for life. Thanks for watching.